welcome to Armstrong Street Scene. Today we're at the Freedom Church here in New Middletown, Ohio. A little chilly day out here today.
Yeah, we had a pretty bad storm go through. Well, what was it like? It was like a 30-minute storm, but it really made some damage here. But it cooled it off. At least we're not frying out there.
Oh yeah, last week we were at the fireplace. It must have been 90 degrees on the blacktop and everything. Oh my God.
This is kind of nice. We're on the grass, so it is cooler out. But we've got a ton of cars coming out here, and a little of everything. You know, it's not just your typical run-of-the-mill cars that you see at every show. I'm seeing quite a bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is the first time we're doing this. This is the 7th annual custom car show here at the Freedom Church.
Well, I see a Mustang rolling in, saw some other stuff. Why don't we just head in and check it out?
Let's go check it out. Okay. Okay, I'm standing next to my new best friend.
Absolutely.
Chief DeGidio.
Yes.
He's the chief of New Middletown, right?
Correct, absolutely, yes.
Man, we got a nice day out of it. And,
it is exceptionally beautiful today, nice and cool, great crowd, and a lot of excitement.
We packed the house. And
absolutely, we love it.
So, Chief, tell us what's going on here today.
Well, this is the Freedom Church New Middletown Custom Car Show, and for the last couple of years, we've been here involved with that. All the proceeds from the registrations and the sales of T-shirts and that are returned to our police department for our Shop with a Cop program.
Okay.
As of a couple of years ago, we never could afford one because we're a small community, but by the grace of Freedom Church and the New Middletown Custom Car Show, we ended up with a couple $1,000s each year. We're able to take local youth and take them to a lunch with their parents. Then we escort them with Santa Claus down to one of our stores locally, and we keep everything local, all the money local, and they are allowed to shop for themselves or their families and have a great holiday.
Oh, what a great, that's good. That's good. Good benefit there.
Yes, it is. And, we have to reach out to our youth of all ages, and whether they're from little children to adults, they need to know that the police are their friends, and that's why we like making a lot of public relations and a lot of public appearances.
This is a great event today for you.
It is.
And you've been doing this now for what, 7 years?
Yes.
You've been doing it since the beginning?
Yep, absolutely.
Good.
And it's fun, and we also set up a table here with a lot of free stuff here. Especially the motorcycle stuff. We want people to be aware of motorcycle safety. Specifically because everybody doesn't pay attention to motorcycles, and they share the road with us, so we need to be aware of that.
I'm a motorcycle rider myself.
I am too.
I got a Harley.
Oh, fantastic!
What I liked about this, Chief, was you're giving out pamphlets.
Yes.
One of them's on phone scams.
And phone scams are so prevalent anymore.
Right.
Everywhere from the grandparent scam to the IRS scam, which everybody's been getting hit with for the last couple of weeks.
And another one's taking charge.
Right, and that's how to protect yourself and protect your identity, and how to correct it if somebody does take advantage of your identity, because identity theft is everywhere.
Right.
Even if you don't think about it, every time you see something on TV, this insurance company or that place got hit, there's 3 million, compromised accounts, so we want to get the information out to everybody we can.
Yeah, we had somebody, my girlfriend's mom, she's like 92, and someone tried to phone scam her. They said,
Yeah.
we got your daughter-in-law here, and
Correct.
she's got her in jail right now, and she needs you to bail her out and go get us a card or
Yes.
some kind of card. What was it?
They want a gift card
Gift
or
card.
iTunes cards.
Yeah, that's like a red flag right there.
Right, and then when you call that number back, they lock your number and they spoof your number and use it for other local calls. But once you give them that routing number on the card, that money's gone. You can never recover it. And
So-
you don't have any choice on getting the money back because it's basically non-prosecuted because it's from overseas where this is happening from.
Right, and we can't do nothing to them.
Nope.
Nothing to 'em.
we turn the stuff into the FBI, and they track stuff, but
They go through all these different.
they go through so many different routing numbers and so many
Right.
different phone banks, and it's just amazing.
Yes.
These are, so we try to get the information out there
Right.
and stuff like that. But we also like to have a good time like today with
Sure,
everybody
sure.
here and stuff like that.
My new best friend. So when I'm in New Middletown,
Yeah. You ever speed through town?
forget it. I'm
Yeah.
done.
And you mentioned my name. The officers will do what they always do.
Get out of jail free card for me, huh?
They'll call me and they're like, you know this guy? I'm like, yeah, give him a ticket.
With me, I have Rodney and John Briggs from Meadville, Pennsylvania, in their 1960 Etzel. How's it going?
Good.
Real
Real good.
This is something you don't see too often. And when I first got in here today, I looked at it, I go, man, an old Etzel. I said, and it's really nice. Well, it's got a little history behind it, huh?
Yes, it's been in the family for over 50 years.
Wow.
We bought it new in 1960.
Uh-huh.
And-
Your dad did.
My dad did.
Okay.
And it passed on down to me, and now my son's got it.
Okay, well, it's really nice. What have you done to it?
Go ahead, John.
Basically, it sat in the building for 1972 on. We've had it repainted, restored. Not top notch, but nice enough for a daily driver. So try to get it out to a few car shows every year.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't see these too often. 1960 was what, the last year for the Etzel?
Yes.
The last year. It kind of threw me off because of the front end. Usually you see that horse collar front end, that horse collar grill on it, but this one doesn't have it. It just has a little piece on it. That was a little change.
Yeah, that was a model style change. They were trying to appeal to the customers more.
Uh-huh.
So, but they stopped production like 2 months into production in 1960.
This got a bad deal though, the old Etzel. If it's not a bad car, you talk to some people nowadays, it was a good car, but I think the PR for it. They just had bad PR for it, and just didn't work.
Right.
Because this is basically a Ford, right?
Exactly.
Ford undercarriage and everything,
Yeah.
Ford parts, everything's Ford.
Yes.
Except a little bit of the styling.
Yes.
Yep.
So what do you guys plan on doing with it?
Well, we're going to hang on to it,
Yeah.
drive it,
Uh-huh.
enjoy it.
What do you got under the hood here?
292
292, that's on a Ford engine.
Ford engine.
Is that truck
basically.
engine?
No,
No?
just Ford had it.
Two barrel?
Yes.
Two barrel, okay. Looks good though, nice and clean and everything.
Well, we've tried to fix it up as best we can.
Sure, it looks great.
Yeah.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
It's a great car. Just
Yeah.
have fun with it. That's what it's all about.
We like to get out, see other cars, and enjoy it.
Sure, this is what, there's what, no power steering in this?
No power steering.
pretty bare bones.
No power, very bones.
Uh-huh.
Your old-fashioned cars.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what it's all
Easy
about.
to work on.
Yeah, how about the brakes?
Brakes are tough. There's no power or anything like that. You drive it, you gotta pay attention to cars in front of you and
Right.
give yourself enough room to stop.
Uh-huh. With me, I have Fred Schwartz from New Middletown, hometown here. You're in your backyard. And Fred's got a 1955 Thunderbird convertible. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Oh, not too bad.
Uh-huh.
This is the only place I go to right here.
Oh, okay.
From the church here.
So we're privileged today to have you here.
We got it all, yeah.
Yeah, that's a beauty. That's a beauty.
This has only been out like 3 times this year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So tell me about the car.
Well, I got it a little over 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it was a gift from my son.
Uh-huh.
And
your favorite son now, huh?
Well, he's my only son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyhow, I had a 55 when I was growing up.
Uh-huh.
And that's all we ever talked about, my wife and I, was the 55 T-Bird. And we had at her birthday, my granddaughter's birthday is 2 days later, he says, come on over, we want to have cake and ice cream together. And after we did that, he says, let's go down over to my shop for a few minutes, and I want to show you something. And we did, and under wraps was a 55 T-Bird. And all I could think about is, what are you doing with a 55 T-Bird? He says, we got it at the car show down in Pittsburgh, and I says, well, it's not for me. He threw me the car keys, and he says, take it and drive it, and when you're done with it, the title's in my name, so I'll get it back. And I do all the work on it, and you'll get it back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a beauty. How long ago was it restored?
This was rebuilt right around 2000, late 90s, 2000. Like somebody up in Connecticut did most of the work on it. And it's been spotless.
Yeah, it's a beauty. It's got lacquer paint on it, I see, huh?
Yeah.
It's not the base clear coat or anything.
Yeah.
But that's nice.
It's all original. Everything on it's original, totally original.
You're talking 18-year restoration. It's holding up very well. Looks like whoever did it did a really nice job on it. Yeah.
I don't think it's ever seen rain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little bit of water when you wash it, but that's it.
Bench seats in it. That's for stock bench seats.
Yeah, everything on it is totally stock.
Automatic.
This one's automatic. Power steering, power brakes. It's got the original size tires on it that they had in 55. And it's like wobbles all over the road when you're driving it. But it's fine.
Yeah, those bias ply tires probably. Yeah, and a lot of guys change them over. Yeah. There's a company that sells the tires that look like it, but the radials, and a lot of the guys go for that. So.
Well, this was totally original.
Do you have a hardtop for it?
No, strictly convertible only.
Okay, that's it. You don't need a hardtop anyway. You got something like this.
Oh, I never.
You don't even take it out.
I put the top up only in the wintertime when it's stored.
What color's the top?
It's black.
Black one. Okay. Well, what a beauty! What a beauty! And you said when you were younger, you used to tow a boat with yours?
Yeah, it was amazing because my wife, before we were married, she was from Warren. And I says, meet me at Route 45 and 224. I'm going to pull the boat out to the lake and put it in the water. And she says, yeah, So the next day they met us at 6 o'clock at night, and there I am pulling the boat. She couldn't believe it.
With your T-Bird, huh?
With the T-Bird.
Oh God, someone would see that nowadays, they'd go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking. We got a 289 engine in this thing. Okay, and it's what? You still got 6 volt. They never changed it over.
Right, it's 6 volt positive ground, and it makes it a nightmare to work on.
Yeah.
You never can figure out where the wires go and what they're hooked up to.
Yeah, I'm surprised they did all this nice work on this car, and then they
leave it 6 volt.
Yeah.
I guess now you can change them over to 12 volt if you want. But I'm going to leave it original.
Is this standard like the automatic in these?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
My original one was all standard shift and didn't have none of the extras on it, but this has everything on it.
Okay.
This power steering, power brakes. Doesn't have an air conditioner in it though.
It has power brakes.
Yeah.
And power steering.
And power steering.
That's good. I guess those might have been options back then.
They were. Yeah, everything back then. Everything was an option on it. Only thing you gotta watch is when you hit the brakes on this, because you don't drive it enough in that, and look out, boy, they'll stop you in a hurry.
Hey Fred, this is a beautiful car. I love it. I love the story behind it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. With me I have Sarah Lute from Struthers, Ohio, and her 73 Volkswagen Thing.
Yep.
How long have you had this?
I got it about 3 years ago.
What made you want to get a Thing?
Originally I wanted a van, but they're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I've always thought things were pretty cool. I'm gonna do it.
They are
And
cool.
I learned how to drive stick, and I drive it every day now.
They are cool though, aren't they?
Yeah.
You drive it every day.
Yes. Yep. My daily driver to work. Yeah.
Where'd you pick it up at?
In Raleigh, North Carolina.
Were you looking for it at that time, this thing?
Yeah, I found it online and got it for a good deal. So.
You drove it home.
Yeah. Well, I didn't drive it home. My husband drove it home, and then I had to figure out how to drive stick before I could drive it.
It's not hard. You know, when I was growing up, I learned on a Volkswagen myself how to drive a stick.
Yeah, it's easy now. I got it.
And you got what? A standard? Looks like a standard 1600 cc engine in this thing.
Yes.
How's the gas mileage?
It gets about 21 miles to the gallon.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd get more than that.
Nope. I calculated it the one time.
So what have you done to it besides just drive it?
I got the top replaced and then the back curtain windows. I replaced the gasket and the carburetor and the gas line. That was about it.
This is your thing. This is your everyday driver.
Yeah.
So the people know when you're coming around. This is such an oddball car. How many of these have you seen around?
They're mainly in California and Hawaii, West Coast. I don't see too many in Ohio that are driving around.
So this is a 73, and they imported these into America, what, 73, 74. So this is the first year they imported them into America.
Yes. Yeah, I think they were manufactured in Mexico.
Back then, okay.
Yep.
Oh, it looks good. Well, they're just so odd. When you go to, you've been to Jim's
Yeah.
Volkswagen show there?
Yeah, I went there in July to their show.
I think I've seen a couple there, but that's about it. You never see these on the road. I think this is based off an old military vehicle. I'm not sure what it was called.
Yes, it was the Trekker, and then it was called the Kubelwagen. There's
Kugelwagen, that's it.
a couple different names for it. Germany, I think there's a different name in India and South Africa. So, yeah.
So you having fun with it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You get the head turns though, don't you?
Yeah, at the stoplights, I'll get people asking me, "You selling this? How much you selling it for?" So,
Wow, that's what you want to hear.
yeah.
That's what you want to hear. Good. Just take care of it. Don't let it rot on you to death, and then you get your money out of it one day.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to drive it this winter because I don't want to drive it in the salt up here, but I drove it every day in North Carolina because I didn't have to worry about that.
Right.
These cars, the Tri-5 used to have a window. They took that out when they made the power windows.
Everything's original on it, and it's been fun to work on. I mean, when I bought it, it wasn't on the road since 1968.
It was a barn find in Toledo, near Toledo, Ohio, in the year 2010.
Welcome to Tech Tips. Today we have a different angle on Tech Tips, and we got the artist, we'll call you auto artist, auto designer, Gary Campese from Cornersburg, Ohio. Welcome, Gary.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Yeah, welcome. This is really neat. This is all going to be new to us. We've never really did an artist before. We did Guy Shively once, but he's a different type of artist, pinstriping and stuff like that. You design and make cars and draw cars.
Right.
How'd you get into doing this?
Well, I always had kind of like an imagination. From when I was a little kid, I always loved automobiles and airplanes, and you can draw cars and you can draw airplanes, and then after a while you're like, what would this look like with this kind of a feature on it, and how would it look this way or that way? And that's where the imagination part comes in. You can transfer it to paper or now on a computer, and bring your dreams to life.
Did you go to school for this?
I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I graduated in 1968. I was what they called a commercial artist at that time. Now it's graphic designer. And I had a 40-some year history
Where'd you
of
start out?
advertising. I started with a small grocery company in Belle Vernon, Pennsylvania. We advertised for, you might remember, Foodland Supermarkets.
Sure,
We did a lot
sure.
of their advertising. Then I moved on to Far More. I was their art director when they were in Youngstown. Worked for a Detroit advertising agency where we did a variety of clients. And then kind of retired.
How do, like, say if you want to little kids to get into that? We got kids watching this. We got fathers, grandfathers, and their grandsons and their kids are watching the show. How do little kids learn to be a car designer? What should they do?
The best thing it can possibly do is learn form, which is, you know, how a shape looks in space, perspective, how it actually fits into that space. Things sometimes can look odd if you don't have the correct perspective on it. And in general, when you're a young kid, just do what you want. Just do a lot of it, and don't let the teacher tell you you're using the wrong color paper or pencils or anything like that. Just be free and let yourself develop. You'll never be able to do any more than what you can. So just become the best artist that you possibly can.
Did you start out sketching?
I started out like all the other kids with crayons and finger paints, and I was always the kid in high school that was drawing on the notebook cars and things like that. And that was one of my first callings by other people to do cars. At Christmas, they wanted me to decorate their blackboards in the classrooms with Christmas scenes, but it put like a heart rod in it and stuff. So we had a lot of fun with that when I was in high school.
With me, I have Frank Kolovich from Poland, Ohio, and his 55 Chevy 210 customized to the max.
Yep.
What a beauty.
Yeah, it's a nice car. So I've only had it for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
And where's it from?
It come up out of Florida. Some guy did it down in Florida. The bottom of the car is as nice as the top of the car. It's got a 454 in it, got air conditioning, power windows, leather interior.
That's a beauty. They just did a nice job in this.
Yeah.
I see why you call it the tuxedo.
Yeah.
They did a nice job.
Yeah, it's real nice. And you know, and I've always had, I always liked black and white cars. And I'd like to have, anyway, when I saw it, it's pretty good.
Got it lowered a little bit?
Yeah, it's lowered, picked up in the back.
I like this custom touch right here on the front windows. They cut that, the vent out?
These cars, the Tri-5 used to have a window. They took that out when they made the power windows.
Boy, that's nice. Someone did some nice touches on this.
Yeah. The gauges, the air conditioning is in the glove department. The switches for the air conditioning glove department. The liner. It rides nice too. It's just a good driver. It's not a. It kicks ass for the 454, but it's a nice car.
Tilt-away steering wheel? Tilt?
Yeah, the steering wheel tilts. The seats move up and down. It's got an armrest. pretty nice car.
Very nice. The trunk's all well done.
Yeah, the trunk. Yeah, it's customized.
You know what I love about it? I just love the way they tuck these fenders in, or bumpers in rather.
Yeah.
What they cut the bolts off of them, customize
Right.
them.
What they did here is probably put it all together, welded the brackets, then sent it in and got it welded. Chromed, then put it back in.
Look at the tail lights.
Yeah,
Got
these
nice,
are. I tell you, these are good, but when you hit them or put the turn signal during the day, if the sun's out a little bit, you have a hard time with them.
Oh.
I was thinking about changing them.
Put LEDs in them.
That's what somebody told me about
a
that.
Brighter.
Yeah, something a little brighter.
Take much.
Yeah, I like the two. Like I said, I've always liked black and white cars.
This is a beauty. It's a beauty.
It's a keeper.
I tell you personally, I'm not a big fan of the 5, 6, and 7 Chevys. What do they call them?
I don't like T-Birds either.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I love T-Birds. Well, Frank, here goes your. You're done. You're off. You're off the show. You probably remember Frank from what? The Fireplace a couple years ago.
Right.
We interviewed you with what? You had two
64 Chevy Impalas,
right,
twins.
the twins.
One's a coupe and one's a hardtop.
He paid us this time to get him back on. So. With me, I have Steve Stringer from Boardman, Ohio, in his 1940 Buick Special. All waxed up and buffed out and cleaned up.
Well, everything's original on it, and it's been fun to work on. I mean, when I bought it, it wasn't on the road since 1968, so it just sat around in the garage, and it took us 2 years to get new parts on it. I usually work on it 1 or 2 days a week, and I've been running it all summer now. And the biggest problem I had was overheating. It took a while to flush things through, but it's a straight 8 engine, and it purrs. And it's a lot of fun. My friend helped me get it going, and I take it out. My wife even likes driving in it. But
where'd you find it at?
Well, my brother's father-in-law lived in North Lima, Mr. Johnson, and he had it for years. And it sat in a garage, and I was able to buy it a few years ago. And he was going to trade it in. And I said, I got to get this car. I love it. I love Buicks. My dad always had Buicks.
This is sharp. When I first saw it, this is a great looking car. I just love the styling.
It's a work in progress. I was going to eventually paint it and get the chrome done, but everybody says I should leave it the way it is. So I think I'll get the chrome done a little at a time. But I do like it being original.
Right, right.
And a lot of young people think it's a gangster car, you know?
Oh, yeah, it looks like a gangster car.
But it's fun driving. You have to work at it. No power steering, no power brakes, and 3-speed on the column. So it's work. I got the radio working too. So
there's a radio in this?
I don't have to sing to myself anymore.
Wow, that's a rarity, huh?
Yeah.
For what's this,
1940.
40 with the radio.
Found a guy in Vermilion, Ohio that does radios. So it's a little bit at a time. It's getting done.
This is what considered a Series 40.
Yeah, Buick and
business coupe.
A sport model.
Sport model. Okay.
The business coupe had no back seat. This one has a small back seat. And see what else about it.
It's built like a tank.
Yeah, it is. I think it weighs 4,700 pounds. I took it to the coal company there, and they weighed it for me.
Oh my God, 4,700 pounds.
Yep.
How many horsepower you got in this? 100 maybe?
No, I think it's a 247 engine. I think 243, somewhere around there. But I'm not sure on the horsepower. It's the smaller V8. And as
they made a bunch of different ones in
the
this
Buicks
series.
got bigger, they had more horsepower.
They had what, a Series 50, 40, 50,
60s, yeah. There were Supers and Centuries and Limiteds, and but this was their smaller, more affordable
Right, that's
cars.
it, yeah.
And I think the Specials are hard to find because people ran them in the ground. When I was at the Boardman car show, a guy came up to me and says, I have this car, but only half of it. We use it on the farm. And they attach equipment to it. He said, I got the whole front end, the engine works great, and we attach it to farm equipment.
Wow. This even come in a convertible.
Yes, it did. Yes.
Can you imagine trying to find one of those nowadays?
Oh, man, yeah. It'd be tough, but I enjoy it. It's fun to. It's a driver, and everybody in the neighborhood love it. You know, when I go down the street, I wave to all the neighbors, and but it's enjoyable. It really is.
Hey, Steve, thanks for sharing your car with us.
Well,
this is a beauty. This is a beauty. Don't wax it or anything. Leave it like it is.
Yeah, it's fun.
Little by little.
Yeah.
You might want to leave it like it is after you find out how much chrome costs anymore.
That's true. I just asked the man about that guy over there.
Ooh,
that's true.
With me I have Evan Ruark with his 2018 Tesla. This is, what model is this?
The Model X.
The Model X.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this thing's pretty fascinating here, huh? Yeah. And let me tell you, the first thing, how fast this thing go? To 100?
About 3.21 seconds.
To 100?
Yeah, to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's amazing in here. Everything's electronic. How long does the batteries last you in this?
Probably around, depending on how fast you drive and whatnot, it can last anywhere from 500 miles to 300 miles to 50 miles, depending on how you drive it, just like a gas car. Whenever you hit the gas harder on the gas powered car, the mileage per gallon goes down. Same thing works with these with the battery. The battery power goes down and you won't get as far if you drive real hard on it. If you drive normal, it just goes up.
So if you need power, do they have places where you can get the power at?
Depending on where you're at, yes. Around here, there's really not many at all besides my house and my couple other buddies that have them. But other than that, no.
I mean, like, if you were going somewhere, is there something on here that tells you where you can get power?
Yes, it comes up and shows you the closest place that you can go and get power. Like a McDonald's is going to start doing it. The truck stops are starting to do it, but they only have like 2 or 3 supercharging stations there right now. But within the next, 2-3 years, they're definitely going to have 5-10 of them there at a time, because these cars are going to take over.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Everybody's getting to the electronic cars right now. And,
yeah.
So this is you don't even have to drive this, right?
No, you can. No, you have to check in every 3 minutes just to say that you're there. And what happens is if it doesn't check that you're in 3 minutes and you don't have your hands on it, it pulls over to the closest place and it stops for you.
How's the stopping power in this?
Crazy. Whenever I let off the gas pedal, it automatically starts slowing down for me, so I nearly have to do nothing. I mean, I'm not even touching the gas right now. We're dropping 5 miles a second. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a little bit of a little self-driving here. So what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna keep my hand on the steering wheel, and I'm gonna stay far away from this car here in front of me. So, and we're just gonna slow down, and this is all it is. Yeah. This is all it does, though. But as you start to see, it's going to keep this distance now from the car in front of us, right? And so now when we come up to a stop sign, right? When this car stops, we're going to get real close to it. It's going to stop. Now, whenever they start moving ahead, we're going to take off and start moving ahead.
Automatically does it.
Automatically does it. So I'm going to see if they plan on stopping anywhere, and I'm going to see if I can get that here. Okay, see, look, they're going to stop right now. All right, see, we're stopping.
You're not touching anything?
I'm not touching a single thing at all. Now it's going to pick back up to speed. Once they're out of sight, and here we go. Goes itself.
50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 120.
You're watching Street Scene!
With me, I have Joel Beagley with me with this 1948 Ford F4 one-ton truck.
Right. It was a barn find in Toledo, near Toledo, Ohio, in the year 2010. It ran. Had the flatbed on it. It did have it had a hoist on it, which I haven't put back on yet. It's considered a 1 ton, but it could be rated at 1 1/4.
Yeah, it looks pretty big for 1 ton.
Yeah. But they call it 1 ton, but it's really, the engine is, the original engine, it's a 239 cubic inch.
Flathead.
About flathead, V8.
Got that all redone? Who did that for you?
Jack Zimbauer from North Lima. He's quite an expert on those. And he also rebuilt the transmission. Put it on the frame. The blasting was done by Multimedia, West Middlesex. That'd be a great interview for you.
Yeah.
Out there,
that's right in my backyard. I'm from Hermitage.
Yeah. Okay, we need to go down there and see those guys. I'll help you with that. So they cleaned it up and blasted it, painted it.
What made you want to get this? The 48.
My son, blame him. He just wanted to do something a little unusual.
It's unusual.
There's a lot of these pickups, 1948, 50 F1 pickups around. They're pretty common, but the F4s are a little bit unique, different.
Yeah,
we have a farm too. So,
you have a farm. Okay, so it makes sense.
It makes to be a little haul hay and that sort of stuff. I grew up with a 51 Chevy stake bed that hauled cattle. On my grandfather's farm in Canfield, I drove that thing quite a bit. And so that was another reason why I fell in love with this, because I grew up with something similar, although it was a Chevy. It was about a 50 or 51 stake bed.
Do you drive her far?
Yeah. I'm really only about 3 miles away.
I mean, it's reliable and everything. You can take it anywhere you want to go?
It's still in the testing phase, I'd say. It has to prove itself by a little more time on the road than I've given it so far. It's only been recently finished, just really within the last year that I put the headliner in. So it's still in that phase of being road tested.
Right, it's nice. It's just so unusual, you don't see these.
I got up to 45 mile an hour coming over here.
You're speeding, huh?
Like I say, 3 miles down the road, and so it's still being tested.
What a day we had here at the Freedom Church in New Middletown. It's the 7th annual Custom Car Show, and all I got to say, wow.
Wow, that's right. Yeah, because the interview you saw with the Tesla, while we're shooting this close, we just left that Tesla, so we're still trying to breathe, because I'm not going to say how fast we went. And
it
how
was
quick
fast.
it was. And that was fast too, but
not that fast.
No.
Oh, God. Everything you heard about those, how fast they go, it just threw me right back in the seat.
Yeah.
And I still feel it in my chest right now.
But we did see a ton of other cars. How about the F6?
That was a nice one.
Yeah, and
just got done restoring that after 8 years or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice stuff here. We'll be back to this one.
This is good.
Nice setting right by the church in New Middletown, and grass, and it's been cool today. So
I hope you got some good B-roll, because we got stuck in one area with the cars, and we picked out 5 or 6 real nice cars, and we got some real good interviews.
We could never get around to them all. It's just impossible, and no matter how much we want to, but there's so many nice cars here today.
This is episode number 9, and I got a new best friend, the chief of New Middletown.
You're gonna need him. You drove that Tesla, you'd need him.
No, I wouldn't even touch that.
Yeah.
You're going so fast, you don't even hear it. You're like.
Well, anyway.
Sorry.
This is Rick Guerrera. I'm Greg Roten.
We'll see you down the road. Hey, we're back in business now. How's it going to sound? It's going to. Before we didn't have a mic, now we got a mic. So it's going to With me, I have Frank Kralovic. That's easy for you to say.
I tell everybody it's short for Smith.
If I mess up at all, just stop us. Okay, Greg can edit it out.
Okay.
Okay? No? If I mess up, he loves my mess up. So
I still don't like T-Birds.
You're done, Frank. Look at the camera and go, you're watching Street Scene.
Change side. There. Now you're about the same height.
Oh, okay. Well, you're small. You're taller than me. Yeah.
You make me look fat when I'm on that side.